The Nanzhong region consisted of terrain like most of Yi province, difficult to pass and consisting of many natural barriers in the form of jungles, forests and mountains. When Liu Bei entered Yi in 215, the commanderies of Yizhou, Yueshi, Zhangqi and Yongchang fell into his hands, and under his jurisdiction came many various local tribes, the Nanman, literally meaning southern barbarians. Yongkai was a prominent local leader from Yizhou, who was initially appointed by Liu Bei as a regional official. As a charismatic figure who commanded significant local influence, he initiated the main rebellion after growing discontent under Shu's rule, especially after Liu Bei's passing in 222. This is when he killed the Shu-appointed administrator of Jianning Commandery, Zheng Ang, then took his successor Zhang Yi hostage. Li Yan wrote a total of 6 letters to dissuade him from rebelling, but he arrogantly replied, "I heard that the sky cannot have 2 suns, and the land cannot have 2 rulers. From a distance away I see that the empire has been divided into 3, and I am fearful and confused, and do not know whom to pledge allegiance to." Looking for support, he managed to get into contact with Sun Quan's inspector Bu Ji through Shi Zi, and agreed to pledge allegiance to Wu. Sun Quan then appointed Yongkai as the administrator of Yongchang Commandery, but when he showed up to take control, Lu Kai and Wang Kang refused to recognize his legitimacy. This led to both the local government and the civilians resisting Yongkai from entering the commandery. He repeatedly wrote letters in an attempt to convince them he was the rightful administrator, but Lu Kai refuted his claims and kept control over the area, mostly because the people highly trusted him. After failing to enter the commandery, Yongkai turned to the Nanman tribes for help, but they too were unwilling to listen to him. He eventually sought help from an influential leader named Meng Huo, who lied that the Shu's government had made unreasonable demands from them and successfully incited them to rebel against Shu. In the meantime, within Yueshi, the chief of the Su tribe, Gao Ding, heard about Yongkai's actions and decided to join in, killing the local administrator of Yueshi. As Shu was still mourning Liu Bei's death in 223, Zhuge Liang decided to focus on a domestic policy to promote stability within Nanzhong before he embarked on a military excursion. Deng Zhi and Chen Zhen were also sent to Wu as diplomats to meet with Sun Quan and discuss their alliance, while Qi Xing went to Zhangqi to conduct an external investigation. Upon his arrival, he detained all the lower-ranking officials for questioning. Shu's administrator of Zhangqi, Xu Bao, was well aware of the neighbouring rebellions, so he killed Xi Qing, then joined the rebels. Zhuge Liang's southern campaign, also known as the War of Pacification in Nanzhong, was a military campaign led against the opposing forces of the Nanzhong region. After Zhuge Liang rebuilt the alliance with Wu, he personally led Shu's armies as a response to the rebellions started by local governors and intrusions by the Nanman tribes. Wang Lian attempted to dissuade him from participating in the campaign, but Zhuge insisted, worried that the Shu generals might not be competent enough to deal with them alone. His close aide, Ma Su, suggested to focus on psychological warfare rather than conventional warfare. The way of war is this: attacking the heart is the best, attacking the walls is the worst. I wish for you to subdue their minds only. Zhuge Liang readily agreed. Although I have been taking counsels from you for years, you still give me some excellent advice. Before departing, Li Yushan handed Zhuge Liang a ceremonial axe and held a grand ceremony to see him off. While drums rolled and trumpets blared, attendants bearing feathered parasols walked in front of and behind him, while an entourage of 60 imperial guards marched alongside him. The Shu army travelled along a water route from Anshan County to Yueshi Commandery into the Nanzhong region. In response, Gao Ding and Yongkai constructed several forts in Maonui, Dingzi, and Beishui counties. Zhuge Liang led his army to Beishui because he hoped the rebels would converge, then he could defeat all of them in one battle. The Nanman wanted to draw Zhuge Liang deep into Yongkai and Meng Huo's lines as Gao Ding attacked from the west, surrounding Zhuge Liang. During this time, however, Gao Ding's subordinates killed Yongkai and others, including gentry and common people. Zhuge Liang took his opportunity to strike, subsequently defeating and beheading Gao Ding. Meng Huo succeeded Yongkai as the leader of the Nanman, so from here, Zhuge Liang ordered Ma Zhong to lead troops from Bodao County to attack Zhangqi, and Li Hui to lead his forces from Pingyi County to attack Jianning. While Ma Zhong defeated Zhu Bao's rebel forces and recaptured Zhangqi, Li Hui's army was less successful and effectively at a standstill. As he marched towards Yizhou, he was besieged at the Kunming Lake. His troops were few, but the enemy had big numbers. Without knowing of Zhuge Liang's whereabouts, Li Hui told the southerners, "My government army is lacking provisions and about to retreat, and I have been out of my native district for a long time now. Now that I have returned, I cannot go back north. My intention always was to return home and plan with you. It is from my sincerest heart that I speak this." From here, he gained the upper hand by launching a surprise attack, then manoeuvred his army south to Panjiang. He linked up with Nanzhong here, before rejoining Zhuge Liang's main force in preparation for the final push against Meng Huo. During this time, Meng Huo's influence grew as he absorbed the remnants of the other groups into his Nanman forces, bolstering his popularity and respect among the locals. It's worth noting that many historians doubt the 7 times freed stories about Meng Huo, with it being almost certainly a later embellishment, possibly to enhance Zhuge Liang's legacy. The first capture of Meng Huo is not described in the Sanguozhi. It likely occurred as Zhuge Liang's forces targeted the heart of the rebellion at Jianing or Yizhou. Zhuge Liang recognized Meng Huo's deep influence and respect among the people of Nanzhong, so he chose to spare his life. After capture, Zhuge invited him to tour the Shu camp and asked for his thoughts. "I was defeated before because I knew little of your army. Now that you've revealed your camp's layout, I understand your forces and can easily overcome you." Amused, Zhuge Liang released him, allowing for another confrontation. This cycle of capture and release repeated 7 times, and on the 7th capture, Meng Huo surrendered, declaring, "You, sir, have shown me the might of heaven. The southern tribes will never rebel again." After he secured the Nanman surrender, Zhuge Liang led his army triumphantly towards Dian Lake. After pacifying the 4 commanderies, Zhuge Liang reformed the administrative divisions and created another 2 commanderies to improve the quality of the local governments. He wanted to allow the people to self-govern these lands instead of appointing non-locals as the governors, and pointed out the problems with leaving non-locals in charge. As the Nanman had recently lost their loved ones in battles, they might still harbour bitter feelings towards the Shu government. If they were given non-locals to govern, then they might feel even more resentful and choose to rebel again. As such, the Shu government appointed locals such as Li Hui and Lu Kai as commandery administrators. They were different from their predecessors, however, in the sense that they only served as representatives of the Shu government in the region. The tribes were actually governed by the respective local leaders and chiefs. The Sanguozhi notes that Zhuge Liang reorganized Shu's military after the Nanzhong campaign. Throughout several years, more than 10,000 families of the Xiang tribes, along with other strong foreigners from Nanzhong clans, were relocated deeper into the Shu region and reorganized into 5 divisions. They gained a fierce reputation, but is unrecorded against who, perhaps Wei forces in the coming northern expeditions, or rebels in Shu or Nanzhong. It's recorded that since no enemy could resist them, they were nicknamed the Flying Army. The rest of the foreigners were divided under the great clans of Nanzhong: Xiao, Yong, Lu, Suan, Meng, Liang, Mao and Li. Furthermore, they were put under the administration of the 5 commandants. The people of Nanzhong refer to them as the 4 clans and the 5 lords, but many didn't want to serve under or enrich these great clans. Instead, the Shu representatives put forward the policy to trade with them gold and silk. This policy motivated the tribal people to gather rare resources and progressively brought them under the control of the government until they became subjects. The people of Nanzhong never rebelled against Shu rule again for as long as Zhuge Liang was alive. There were still occasional revolts in these areas, but they were stopped at the local governance level appointed by Zhuge Liang, unlike before.